Now, Joaquin Pais, CEO of Shower Thinking, is going to explain you how marketing is evolving thanks to data science. He's a technical engineering, so welcome. Give him a warm applause, please.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me properly? Yes? Okay, good. Okay, so I hope that we are going to have some fun here. I'm a telecommunication engineer. This is my technical background, although many years ago I began working for marketing, so really marketing is my passion. I've been working for multinational companies like in the consumer market, like Starbucks, or entertainment like Sony Pictures, or in pharma like Novartis and many others. And you can also find one of the books I wrote in Amazon, which is called La Revolución de las Betas. It's a book in Spanish, which is about the agile processes in marketing. So just to begin this presentation, how many of you are working in marketing? Will you raise your hand? Okay, good. I was hoping to be the only one here, but anyway. Why we in marketing, we are so far away from the data science guys? This is a kind of joke that we have in the agency, saying that which is the approach to the work that different people do. It's saying like when a light bulb is broken, the front-end developer just paints it in yellows and says to the back-end developer, okay, it now works, but it's only during the day. Of course, the data science, he analyzes the bull market price against the probability of failure, and sends to the developer guys and waits for a fix. While as the marketing guys, I think that we are much more smart, and basically convince you that the dark is the new yellow, the new light, and come back to play Candy Crush. We really love Candy Crush, you know. Just to be a little bit more serious, the market value for marketing is huge. It's something consultant company like IDC is saying that it is $1.2 trillion, and which is also more important, is that it's growing at an average. This market almost to 20%, is something like 17% per year. And really is at the core of the needs for the companies. The main focus on the companies is obviously trying to obtain new customers. This gentleman called Mr. John Wanaker said already almost 100 years ago a sentence which is true in marketing, used to be true in marketing, saying that half the money I spend in advertising is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half. And it's probably happening, I would say that even more, for all the digital advertising or traditional advertising that we use in internet. This is an study that shows the ad block penetration. Basically, you know, the ad block is the configuration that you use in your browser just to limit the advertising. So something like could happen that 25% for all the advertising used in internet is never seen. What's happening here? If I think myself about the way I approach to buying a product, like for example a car, like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, it's completely different that we do it today. 10 years ago, there was a seller, you know, with a nice suite, and he decided to, which is the information I received, which is the model I will purchase. He was really the person deciding all the customer coming to the shop, what will be more or less their decision. But it is has absolutely changed. And now, obviously, if I go to buy a car, I have already take my opinion and even take my decision. And just go to the shop, just to make the financial stuff, or just to finalize the transaction. The point is that we no longer need these traditional sales guys. The shift in the consumer mind has already happened. The buyer journey has shifted from a generic approach controlled by the seller, to a self-guided tour. I want to take my decisions, and this is happening across all the different industries. And it's powered by the buyer. For a very long time, the majority of the customer, the buyer's journey was controlled by the seller. And this is really very important, that saying that something like the 85% of the effort for the companies, the marketing effort, was put on this side of the cycle, from the awareness to consideration to decision. In a very few time, just the last years, this is going like in the opposite side. Gartner Customer Summit is saying that in 3 years, something like an 85% of this travel will take place from the buyer without talking to the human person. So this basically changed, and I'm going to link a different concept now. Therefore, that the companies need to do is on the side of the business decision. What is happening here is that all this information need to be considered by the companies. Before, they have all this information, but now the marketing department needs the data science guys, because all this information, all this buying cycle is not taken inside the company. It's taken outside the company, probably through the internet or browsing stuff or using internet to make these decisions. A new era requires a different approach. This is more or less how we split the different moments through the marketing, the marketing strategy, beginning with the traditional mass marketing, like the TV, coming to a more segmented marketing, the relational marketing. And now we are in the moment for the hyper-personalized marketing. We as consumers, we don't affect anymore the advertising. We want the companies to provide us more meaningful and attractive and interesting stuff for us just in this moment. In the future, which is predicted, is in a very few years, something like 3 years, this predictive marketing and the artificial intelligence will be coming. My personal opinion is that all this predictive marketing is much more closer, because it's bringing a lot of value to the companies, this predictive marketing approach. We are saying that we need to take or work in a different way. The first point is just to take a different approach to decisions. During a lot of time, the marketing department have been taking decisions based on the experience for the marketing director or the strategists in this department. This is a study from the MIT. What is basically saying that the data-driven marketing produces a complete different more powerful results. This is a study for a telecommunication company, which decided to launch some plans. The marketing on one side, the marketing department, decided which are the appropriate segments to launch this plan. On the other side, basically a data team decided based on 304 different features, which are the best plan for each of the customers. This data-driven approach produced leads to a conversion rate 13 times better. So in this moment, we are already having a lot of information. It's time for these marketing departments to make these decisions based on this data. I'll leave you here this link for this study. We also need different technologies. For me, it has been a complete discovery for what is Python, and specifically what is the Jupyter platform. It's a platform where you can maintain, obviously, a version history, where you can share all your data or your graphical data. It's a perfect platform for gathering different information from different tools that we use in digital marketing, like Jupyter. But it's also a tool that we can use to interact with customers, with marketing automation tools. It's really the glue, and these new tools are available for working. And what is more important, what is coming now is the artificial intelligence and the predictive marketing. I didn't want to leave only this speech, just a strategic speech or a general purpose speech, but I bring in some a small demonstration about what kind of information can now have a company from the customers. This is a basic demo explaining how one company can segment the customer based on these new tools. And using IBM Watson, which you know is not open source, but there are also many other frameworks you can use. And specifically inside IBM Watson, we are using personality insights, which is it's really an API and connection where once you have information from the customer, this personality insights predict which is the customer personality separated by different groups. We are going to see now in real time the consumption preferences, how consumers approach a buying decision. The tone analyzer, you probably have been working or you know already a lot about this tone analyzer, basically how they feel or what they are saying about us. And Watson NLU, which is a natural language understanding, analyzing keywords, topics about what they are speaking about. So I need first to apologize because we are just in this moment during a maintenance window. This really pisses me off. You should not be doing this presentation on Sunday, I think. Well, anyway, let's try. Please bear with me. I will try to do my best. Okay. So this is an environment that you probably know very well. This is a Jupyter network. Okay, and here's the moment that where we are getting the information from the customers. This is information gathering for different information from social media, from interviews, and also from one contact center from one customer. And for this demo, we are getting a small number of customers, which is the number is 30 customers.
Sorry, can you make it bigger, please?
Sorry?
A little bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Now, it's okay? Okay, good. Not so big. Okay, I think that, I hope, yeah, that's better. Basically, in this moment, what we are going to do is we are sending all this information. I don't know what's happening here. We are sending all this information to Watson. I don't know, is the internet. I know it was going to happen. Well, I'm not going to wait more because I don't know what's happening here. Anyway, I have prepared myself. But we are getting two data frames. One is about the personality from these customers. It gives you back 47 different features about which is the personality for these customers. If you want more information about how they infer, this is really a huge work that the guys there at IBM are doing here, and you can have in internet. You can see how they infer all this different information. The point is that you have here something like 47 different features. They are between 0 and 1 values, and also the consumption preference. We are taking for this work something like 12 different features that we considered they were appropriate for this project. And we are taking features like the sensitivity of the customer. This is a prediction. All values are between 1 and 0. The sensitivity of of ownership for buying automobiles, the likely to prefer quality when buying clothes, the likely to prefer style, the likely to prefer comfort from buying clothes. And we gather all this information in a single data frame, defining every customer in the study. Okay? So now it's working something that could be very basic for you, but for us, for the marketing guys, is a game changer. Why? Because from all this information we are making with Skilliard, we are making clusters. This used to be traditionally by marketing departments saying, okay, these are the young people in between our customers. This will be group A. They are the old ones. They are the millennials, and these are all this other stuff. You know, this approach, having this kind of information, no longer works. Basically, what we are doing here is that once we have all this information coming from Watson, what we are doing, I hope that we got the, oh no, I know it was not going to work. Anyway, here I have my slide. Well, what we are doing here, we are automatically, or we are with all this data, we are clustering this segment. This used to be, as I said before, based on the good feeling from the marketing departments. Now it's a way to cluster your customer based on all this information. I'm going to continue here. And we are clustering customers based on their consumer preferences. For example, you see this is an error bar saying how are they segmented, these customers. And also inside each of the clusters, we are seeing how all this group of consumers, how they approach the buying decisions. This is a general view. If these customers are likely to be influenced by social media, this is this point here. And which is the approach to a consumer, to a buying process based on these different groups that we made the clusters before. Let me see if I can have this information here. Yeah, this is the representation from the different clusters. You know, we've been using PCA to make this the representation for these metrics with something like 70 different features in order to represent the customers. And these are the different values for the whole group and based on each of the different clusters. And this matrix represents also the personality for each of the different segments. We have here information that for a marketing department is really like gold, because it's saying to you how do you need to approach these customers. You have information about the buying process, but also about their personality. For example, this is about practicality. Some of them will be more meaningful or less meaningful if this group of customers, which is the level of curiosity that they have with us, the dutifulness, the cautiousness, which is the achievement, the intellect among us, the emotionality, which is also very important in the market, for a marketing. Basically, we are getting how they approach a buying decision and also how, which is their personality. We're using more information. This is just the same information divided by groups. I'm going to switch again. Sorry to switch from one on the other, but I know some of them are not going to work. I'm not going to make also this demo. The second request that I was trying to do with Watson, but it seems that something is not working, is a tone analyzer. We also know in this moment for this consumer how they feel. If they feel anger with us, disgust, do they feel fear, they feel joy, or they feel sadness. And also the third information that the level of information that we are getting from these customers and is about what are they speaking about, which are their main interests, and divided by group. This also is giving us a lot of more and more information about how to make this marketing approach to our customers. Now, with this kind of information, is the moment to provide hyper-personalized marketing campaigns or marketing strategies to our customers. It's no longer needed to have the traditional marketing approach. It's possible to personalize which is the landing page, the website experience, the product recommendation, the personal offers that we can provide to these customers. So at the end, we are getting to the point to explain what is marketing data science. One of the most important parts for me is that it's a data-driven marketing. As we said before, instead of taking decisions based on the experience, this approach no longer works because we have all this information about our customers and we have all this huge amount of features. You know that it has been studied that the human brain probably can only correlate up to 5 different variables. With all this information, it's not feasible for a human being to make this decision. It's also about artificial intelligence and predictive marketing. Use the tools that we have now in the marketing about artificial intelligence and also predict which are the results that our customers will take. It's about using, as we are saying in this demo, data science tools. Has been developed for other areas, most of them for big data analysis, is using this information for small data analysis. A lot of companies have small data problems instead of these big data problems. It's integrating data science insights and technology inside marketing decision. And basically, this is why we, the guys in marketing, need you guys, the data science, to help us taking this, what is what is happening, which is this digital transformation for the companies. But here is, for me, some of the points more important is understanding customers in a new way. Is the point understanding that the companies need to see and understand and check and really care about what the customer needs? Is creating a more sustainable marketing. Instead of the traditional advertising approach saying, okay, I have this message, let's use the digital marketing, or let's use the television, or let's use the radio to spread my message. It's creating a more sustainable marketing because I'm personalizing the message for each of my customers in the appropriate moment. And it's about providing a customer with a more personalized experience. What I say here is that digital marketing and data science needs to be aligned. As I said before, in order to better understand consumer needs, the digital marketing, the marketing guys also need some kind of improve their analysis and data science skills and expertise. And for me also, data science during the coming years will be a central part for all the digital marketing projects. Not only the technology is important, the business strategy, of course, is important. The content marketing, how we approach our customers is important. But the marketing data science is the core, is the new way where we will take these decisions. And basically, that's it. I wanted to explain more or less which is this new approach and demo, although, since that the technology is not today with me, but try to explain how we are in companies trying to approach the new market.
Any questions?
Thanks for the talk. As far as I understood, you're using Watson, right?
Yes, we are using IBM Watson, which is just some months ago, they provided this tool, which makes this. They provided an Watson Analytics, which is an analytics tool, and also the Watson API. They have encapsulated. This is a cognitive system, which is an artificial intelligence, which provides you a very. For me, it's a very easy way to access this information that otherwise, you will need to deploy your system, which will be really very complicated.
Yes, I already use Watson. I think also it's very user-friendly. So my question is, do you think in the future the companies are going to directly use Watson instead of outsourcing your services, for example?
I don't know if I understand well
I mean, for example, I don't remember, you said something, that the pharma company, I don't remember the name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, imagine that if Watson is such a user-friendly tool, do you think in the future, maybe not now, but in 2 years, 3 years, something like that, Avertis or the pharma company is going directly to use Watson with their data instead of outsourcing or contracting your services?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, I got it. Thank you. Very interesting question and complicated. I think that for us, we have been working some months with Watson, and for me, my experience is that I want to explain, like Watson is someone else, someone more in the team. It's not someone that is going to replace a human person. It's providing you with more insights, which is the one of the most important parts for Watson and also for data science in general. Is the absence of bias. If we make traditional marketing, this kind of studies are making through focus groups. You got some people in a room and begin asking them, how do you feel about this new Coca-Cola or this new stuff or this new stuff? But at the end, there's a human expert which is making this decision, and it's based on this guy. What is providing us tools like Watson is for marketing guys together with data science, a new way for approaching these questions, these business questions, but with data. So for me, it's not a replacement. I think that a lot of companies will need, through an agency or internally or whatever it is, a different approach or combined, I think that probably there are more people here working in consultancy and the companies. Also very important, and I think that this Congress is also key important. There is a lack of knowledge. There's a huge gap, in training for all these people. And no matter how the company decides to make this decision, but it needs to be taken, but because the consumers have this information already there, and they need to take benefit from this.
More questions?
Hi, thanks for the talk. Very interesting. What is the perception, the feeling of the companies that you have approached with this strategy? They feel okay to use machine learning in such decisions? They feel scared, surprised, they don't care?
Mm-hmm. I'm saying that something like 60% for the work we are doing is non-technical. What is formative, we are explaining them that what they have, that they already have this data. At the beginning, they are really, it's mind-blowing for this department. Traditional offline departments or traditional departments say, I didn't know we can get this. It's incredible, and how we can personalize this, all this information. Now I understand that we are not getting good results. It's obviously impossible, And now they are beginning to understand more and more how it's working. There's also one point of, I would say, scary. There's really very powerful tools, and we really need to think about which is the best way, because we are, as you see, we are taking the even the personality, for the customers. And with big power comes also the big responsibility stuff. So they are basically, obviously, we are just in the beginning, for this stuff. And I think that they are at the beginning. They say, this job. I think in US they say job dropping. I didn't know we can get this. I don't know if I properly respond to you. Yeah. Okay.
More questions? Yeah.
So are you saying that they will, so in fact now you are combining active methods of surveying or asking consumers about what they prefer? You are combining active with passive. So getting information from their clicks or the way they buy through internet.
I'm very technical.
Is what I assume.
The question is, which is our approach to make these studies?
Yeah, but in the future, do you think that will persist both approaches, or just the passive methods will be replacing the active ones, the ones that are you asking you what are you going to do?
You are asking the right question to the wrong guy, because I'm very technical, an engineer, and I would say everything will be data, it's my vision, and it's like my boy, I think that this information is, I no longer see a marketing expert taking this kind of decisions, because the market has changed so much during the last 8 years, with this millennial stuff. No one has this experience. If the market is more or less stable, and human expert can take these decisions, at least from this is my personal view, but with all these changes that we see, the cars probably in 3 years are going to self-drive, and this will change everything. So no human will take appropriate decision. And these tools will be, at this moment, will be a help. As I said before, it's like someone more in the team helping to make decisions. Not taking the decisions itself, but helping the marketing guys to make the decision.
Hi, I have 2 questions very quickly. Could you tell us a little bit more about data ingestion and collection? For example, I think that in one slide you mentioned Google Ads, but I don't know if you are planning to use Twitter or something like that in order to make more accurate studies. And the second one is if you follow some kind of agile approach with your customer in which you first of all, give to them a prototype, and you're still iterating with them in order to add more sources and add more analytics and advancing in the final report.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good questions. The first one is about the sources. Of course, Twitter, and depending on the customer, LinkedIn. Have really a lot of information, probably better in LinkedIn, because there you write your profile and you can know a lot the personality from the customers, but also we also mix different sources like interviews and this stuff. There are also another tool which is marketing automation tools, which basically once you enter one site, all this stuff about cookies. They are basically tracking you and saying, okay, this guy likes this content, and he has he's interested about this proposal or this content. So this is because Jupyter is so powerful, because you need to integrate many, many different stuff together. Also coming, as you said before, with AdWords, how they are coming to us, which are their initial interests, And this is making this matrix for this, which is basically a buying process. About your second question is about Agile. In order to implement, this is a new way of working. In order to implement this approach, saying, okay, stop doing all the stuff you are doing now and begin making all this stuff from now is impossible. No, it's not working. And as you said before, an agile approach trying to take these quick wins, this kind of project you cannot take everything from the beginning. You need to take very small steps in order to improve it. So absolutely, this is what I think that is really the only way, and what is one of the keys for me, this agile approach to implement this data science project.
Okay, there's time to more questions. You have more? Okay, so, well, thank you very much, Joaquin.
Okay, thank you very much.